that hurt. That was a razor blade straight into the finger. See you, buddy.
After some tricky maneuvering, Diego gets our boat out of the yard and onto the highway. After a long trip from Chicago to Syracuse, New York, the boat safely arrives to us. After a week or two, we remove the mast from the top deck and carefully put her in her new home for the Syracuse winter. We only had an inch or so to spare getting her in, and about 2 to 3 feet total in the bow and stern so that we could walk around her. Dennis had to remove more water from the bilge. It became apparent at this point that the boat had some serious water intrusion issues from the top deck and port lights, since Dennis just did this not too long ago and she was filled again.
So, I may have made my first mistake. I'm sure one of many to come. I got half the water out of the bilge, and I'll show you that. My vacuum idea worked. Only problem is now I have a vacuum full of water, dirty water, that I need to get out. My plan is to put them into the cockpit and drain it through there. So let's see how that works. So that seemed to work. Only problem is now I'm gonna have a bunch of water outside the boat on the floor that I gotta figure out how to clean up.
We start to remove those port lights. First, we need to remove the screws from the inside frame and the outside frame.
So I'm gonna try to remove the port light so I can get a size so we can start looking around to see if we can order new ones. I'm hoping it comes out easy. A lot of people use butyl tape, which makes a great sealant. It's not so much a good adhesive, but that's what you want on stuff like this that you have to maintain or you might one day have to replace. So if they use butyl tape, I'm in luck. If it's 5200, let's just hope it's not 5200. So far it looks good. I'm not really sure what that is. It looks like some sort of sealant. Not butyl tape, because this is white. It's on there pretty good though. Seems to be coming off, so I'm gonna do this and see if we can get the port light out. Wow, that was a lot of work. So, this is what I've done on the outside. I pretty much have it all removed. I made quite a mess. I'm gonna go on the inside, see if I can get the rest out. This is what I'm left with on the inside. I'm gonna go ahead and peel the rest off. Okay. Nice smooth surface. Looks pretty good. But now I got my opening, so I can try to order port lights that fit that opening. And then I only have to do it 1, 2, 3 more times. And then these 2 big windows, which I can only imagine how much fun those are gonna be. I'm about to finish taking out the other big port light back here. And I picked up one of these to help me not have to breathe in the crap that I'm cutting. Last time I did the other side, I ended up getting a sore throat. So you shouldn't be breathing this stuff in. But I just wanted to show you. It took a while to get this thing figured out how to use it. These are the instructions. It was no easy task. And you know, guys, we don't read the words, we just look at pictures, so that might have been what took me quite a while. And I'm still not even sure I've got it all done correctly or the way it should be, but it seems to work. I'll be able to see if I can get it back on. So I'm going to cut the other window out. We did find a local company. It's our glass company that we use for our business. And I brought the other port light to them and said I need to get this custom made. They're going to make it out of Lexan. I've done some research and it looks like that is going to be okay. It's supposed to be impact resistant. You're able to drill through it. She said that there's sealants for it. So they're doing a bunch of research. We're doing a bunch of research to make sure that we're going about this the right way. Cut out.
We tried to gently pry them out, but that wasn't working, so we needed to use force and break them in order to get them out.
That's one way to do it. Work on cleaning it up. We still have the outside, I don't know if it's like a trim piece to get off, and we got to do that on both sides. Whew. So that hurt. That was a razor blade straight into the finger. I'm starting to think the boat might be haunted. I don't think I've come here a single time to work on it and not left without an injury. So either I'm very clumsy or the boat does not like me. I'm working on this side now. It's just peeling all the sealant and caulk from them. It's on there good. It's just tedious. You get a little tiny piece. Anyone that's ever done this before, I'm sure you can relate. All right, so now I'm gonna fill in the gaps around the port lights, and I've got two products that I picked up. I've got the Evercoat All-Purpose Filler 27, which is white, and I've got the Interlux Watertight Epoxy Filler. My plan is, since I need a lot for the windows, I'm gonna use this stuff, and they're more interior, and they're gonna be sealed. And for the external stuff outside on the top side, I'm gonna end up using this stuff, which something tells me this is a superior product. But I'm just going on my gut with that one. So that's what it looks like when it's open. Pretty thick, almost like a Elmer glue consistency. And I'm gonna fill up my tub here. I'm gonna add my hardener. Basically gonna go back and forth about 2 times, maybe 3. I'm gonna start applying it to the window. I'm gonna fill in all these gaps all the way around and get them good and solid. So this is how it's coming along so far. I'm basically just filling it in. It is kind of dipping down on me, so I have a feeling this is gonna be a 2-part process. I should have stuffed this side with something first so that I didn't have to fill this whole void with putty. So for now I'm just gonna let it droop and dry, and then I'll go back in, fill it in again. I went ahead and did each of the port lights. They're not the prettiest. I also have the one in the bathroom, or as I should call it, the head. But I'm not gonna touch it because I have this all over my hands and I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna get off. While I was at it, I hit every hole that I could find. And then I think we're gonna end up filling this all in with filler and getting them nice and solid like we did these ones. Now I'm gonna work on, we've got our replacements in. So we're gonna work on getting these. They don't quite fit, so I'll have to trace it out and cut it out a little bit and slide those in. I'm gonna go ahead and trim out the smaller port windows and see if I can get the new ports in today. Got this little oscillating tool. Never used one before. Hopefully it does the trick. Gonna put my mask on. Okay, so one problem I see I'm gonna run into is these new port lights we got have these rain drains on the bottom of them, and they stick out lower than the previous flange would have stuck out. So I either have to notch those in or cut that off. So I just marked how far it actually sticks out. So all this extra actually will end up need to come off. So we'll have to cut all this extra down the road. I assume they make them thicker because they never know what size your hull's gonna be. So it will leave a little tiny drain, which I guess is important. If I use this as a template, it's even got the rain drain notches in it. And then I can just cut out with a Sawzall or a jigsaw of some sort. Okay, so I got it all taped. And now I'm just gonna trace out the rain drain spots. Should do it, I guess. One down, 3 more to go, at least for the little windows. So this is what it looks like from the outside, and my only concern, where are you, is how much it sticks out. I don't know if that's gonna be a shin hitter or if it's in far enough it's not gonna bother us. I like the lip a little bit because it will keep any rain from coming down in. A part of me says just leave it as is and try it out for a season. If we do end up hitting our shins on it, we could always come in and just trim it. So I think that's what we're gonna do. We're gonna leave them as is from the factory, seal it all off, and then we could always cut it from the outside if we need to trim it back if we find ourselves whacking ourselves on it. We're pretty close to wrapping up the port light project. The last thing that I need to do, I got both of the port lights out, the bigger ones. I put them on a piece of cardboard and I traced them. And then what I did is I went, this is the actual size of the window, and I'm going 2 inches bigger. And I'm gonna do that all the way around, and then I'm gonna cut this template out. This is what we're gonna provide the window company, so when they cut out the Lexan, it's gonna be 2 inches bigger all the way around. And I allowed for 2 inches to give us space, because we're going to have to secure the window to the boat. And the only way I know how to do that is by drilling holes and then through bolting it all the way around. That's my plan. I'm gonna look into it a little bit more. I've also heard about using like this 3M adhesive and then a sealant as well. I'd much rather have a smoother, clean look, so I want the 3M adhesive way to work, but I also want them to hold up good. So, you know, if it wind, waves, anything like that, I want the window to not fall out. So that's the only thing that scares me about the 3M, but maybe it's super strong and we'll hold a window in there. So I'm gonna look into that more. But I've got the template ready and it's good to go. So you can basically see the whole thing there. So hopefully next time we do the video on port lights, you get to see these being installed. I'm super nervous about them, but I hope we're doing it right.
In the meantime, we deal with our lovely winter weather. This weather and time are what we're working against. We can't wait for sunshine and the sound of waves crashing into the boat. Don't forget to show us some love and click the thumbs up down below. You can also click on the subscribe button to get a notification when our next video comes out. Next week, Dennis will be elbow deep in some electrical work.